Hey now, boys and girls, welcome into show 64 of the Pucknologists here on tealtownusa.com. Football season is finally over. We don't have to worry about that kind of, shall we say, taking over our Sunday schedule. We're back onto it, people. So welcome into the show. I'm your host, AJ Strong. Joining me this time is, of course, Hockey Jerk.
I was going to make a joke about playoffs, but I think more appropriately would be live? We're talking live?
Playoffs?
So, right now, for the time being, Rocket is on assignment. We'll see if she returns early from it or not. I like it. So do us a favor. Remember to subscribe to the cast, whether it be on SoundCloud or the podcast platform of your choice. If you're on iTunes, throw some love on there. If you enjoy the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, and check out Teal Town After Dark, the only live and interactive Sharks post-game show on YouTube. And also, feel free to leave a comment on SoundCloud, on YouTube, wherever. We'll do our best to answer. And as always, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at TealTownUSA. So,
as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
That's right. We're going to do that hockey the week that was in Sharks hockey. So the Sharks have gone 5-0 since we last spoke. It's a beautiful thing. 12-3-0 since the calendar turned to 2019. Good for 33-16 and 7 for 73 points. Right now, second in the division, only one behind Calgary. Goddamn you Canucks, you had one job last night. But anywho, Calgary does have a game in hand, but the Sharks are 7 ahead of Vegas and back to second in their conference. And the week that was, well, let's see, a couple 3-2 victories, a couple 5-2 victories. It's been a hell of a week, Jerk.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the Sharks finally winning games on a consistent basis. I think the poor taste from getting shellacked in the first period of the All-Star game is long gone for the three who were there. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, there are overtime wins, but a win's a win, right? And especially, against teams like Calgary and teams like Edmonton who are chasing you, as well as Winnipeg, who is right up there for top of the conference. And whether or not being number one in the West matters to the Sharks, it's always nice when you can kind of pad your stats a little bit against one of the best teams in the league.
Well, it certainly matters to me, damn it. Let Calgary and Vegas beat the hell out of each other in the first round and watch the Sharks play somebody who, sneaks in to a wild card spot. We're going to check on real fast if, in fact, we do have solid audio from Rocket. Let's find out. Do we?
I don't know. Do you?
Hey, look at that. We got a little bit of audio from Rocket.
Okay. Is there any static in the line?
No. Good.
I hear a skosh of static, but I would say your voice overpowers it.
All right. So that static is going to remain throughout the entire recording of this podcast, unfortunately. I don't know how long this is going to last.
Well, I don't know how long this winning streak is going to last.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this microphone is on its last legs. I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, let's see if we can get through one live show. So the Sharks start off versus Arizona coming out of the All-Star break. Brendan Dillon's 500th NHL game. You know that Rocket celebrated that. EK65 misses his fourth straight. However, Vlasic would return after missing 10 games. The Coyotes, Richard Panik. Am I saying that right, Jerk? Is it Panik?
Yes, it is. You are correct, sir.
Okay, I've heard like 3 different pronunciations, so I was just going for the one that I seem to hear the most of. But he did play our new favorite game, goal or no goal. Initially called no goal, after review called a goal, then Coach DeBoer challenges for goalie interference, and now no goal, which of course would kind of help things out when you consider that it was an overtime game. But Burns would get the overtime goal, his 13th OT goal of his career, tying Scott Niedermayer for the most by a defenseman in NHL history. Jones would stop 31 of 33, posting a .939 save percentage. Vlasic and Heed, shockingly, are the only minus players in this game. The Sharks kill 5 penalties, and of course, LeBanc goes to the box one time for Hella Man. And bizarrely enough, and Rocket, I don't know if you've ever seen this. The Sharks celebrated this win like it was a baseball game. Like when you see a baseball team do a walk-off home run, the other guys on the team just immediately start to beat the crap out of the guy. And that's what happened to Burns. What?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on ice level that doesn't translate to the television screen. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of stuff going on during that game that, just warranted that kind of response that we maybe just didn't get to see.
Jerk, you've seen all the ridiculous Carolina celebrations. Was this like the Sharks trying to one-up them?
I mean, I've never watched baseball before. I've never actually heard of baseball, so this is new to me. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think you have to. I think you look at it like this. Even though it's Arizona, they're still a team that's in the hunt for the playoffs. And so anytime you can put some separation between yourself and those teams behind you, I think obviously is a cause for celebration. And, the guys are always jacked, especially when it's Brent Burns pulling a move like he pulled. I mean, good Lord, you want him to stay on the other side of the faceoff dots being a defenseman. But I mean, if he's going to score, sure, why not, right?
And it was a pretty wicked shot to get the winner. I will take that.
Yeah.
But we move on to the Wi-Fi capital of North America, Winnipeg, where the Sharks again would pick up a 3-2 victory in overtime against the Central Division leader. You got to point out that the Jets, there was no Ehlers or Bufflin. And remember, the last time the Sharks saw Winnipeg, Ehlers had a hat trick in that one. EK65 would miss his 5th straight now. And bring on the call-ups. Gambrell slots in, Radil out, and the Sharks get off shots nearly 3-1 during the first and third, but give up shots nearly 3-1 in a horrible second. Only 2 shots on goal in the first 12 minutes. Again, we're back to goal or no goal, as Scheifele would make it 3-1 Jets until DeBoer would challenge for offsides and win. That's 2 consecutive games where DeBoer threw down the gauntlet and picked it up victoriously both times. But a hat tip or a stick tap, whichever you prefer, to video coach Dan Darrow for picking up that offsides. Meyer would get called for one of the, I don't know, I guess kind of the best phantom embellishments that I've seen in a while. The thing that would make this interesting, though, of course, is Vlasic getting a delay of game in the final 90 seconds. The Sharks' PK goes 5 for 5. In overtime, Kane gets caught changing early and gets a hella man penalty, which only Kevin LeBanc can serve, as we all know. Burns to Pavs on the 2-on-1 overtime shorthanded goal. Only the second time in franchise history that would happen for the Sharks. And some curious 3 stars from the local media with Hellebuck, Wheeler, and Couture, the 3 stars. How Jones did not make it in there, I don't know. How Pavelski did not make it in there. A little bit of home cooking, Jerk.
Yeah, I mean, myself personally, I don't really care for 3 stars. I think it's something for the fans. I don't think it matters to the players themselves, but very, very curious selection too. Like you said, I mean, I'll be honest, this is the one game of this stretch that I did not watch. So I'm going off of what I heard and what I'm reading here. But from what I understand, it didn't seem to me like Hellebuck or Blake Wheeler played any better than anybody else in the game. So, it is what it is. I don't think the Sharks are sweating it nervously. I think they'll get over it pretty quick. But like you said, 2 games in a row, Kevin LeBanc serving the too much man penalty.
I'm telling you, man, that they just leave it. He must really just feel really positive when he goes to the box or something.
I think it has to do with, like, as soon as that penalty expires, the door opens and LeBanc is probably like, LeBanc probably just skates for the puck and he's hoping one of those times he's going to catch him on a breakaway and then pass it to somebody.
Good luck with that.
He just wants to pass it. That's all he wants to do.
I don't know. LeBank's so small, maybe they think, oh, they'll never notice me over here. Don't know. Well, to follow up beating the Central Division leader, the Sharks would then move to Alberta to take on and defeat the Pacific Division leader in the Calgary Flames. The Sharks get a little bit of payback against the Flames on the scoreboard for that horrendous New Year's Eve game and the Bennett hit on Shimmick, which we didn't see much in the way of payback, but again, hashtag scoreboard. Jankowski scores in the first 5 minutes, and that would be the last time the Flames would lead as the Sharks ripped off 3 goals in a minute 25 from Kane on a 4-on-4. Burns getting yet another shorthanded goal, and Hurdle, who scores on the first shot. And it was great because if you watch this game, there was a little brouhaha, if I can invoke a little French, that happened in front of the Winnipeg bench between Kane and one of the Flames. And for some reason, Mike Smith was just chirping at Kane. So what happens? Rittich gets pulled after 2 quickies, and then Hurdle scores on his first shot on goal at Mike Smith. That was just beautiful. The PK kills 6 of 7 while scoring a shorty, which is almost like going 7 for 7. Former Sharks killer Mike Smith has one of his worst outings ever. Remember, he also iced the puck in this particular game. So Rocket, I don't know. Did you think that was a good icing?
Any icing that involves Mike Smith is a great icing.
I'm done with that.
I was going to make a joke about a certain GIF that's been circulating the internet, but I will choose not to. It's nice to see, again, like I said earlier about Arizona, you're fighting with these teams, especially the teams in the division, and it's nice to see the Sharks get a decided victory against them. Obviously, if you're putting up you're putting up 5 on Calgary, and that's all well and good, but Calgary, who is notorious for scoring a lot of goals, was only held to 2 goals, and I think that's where our attention should be focused. I thought, for the most part, it was Martin Jones in net, or was Aaron Dell in net? I can't recall for that one.
No, it was Jones versus Calgary.
That's right. Martin Jones was very dialed in this game, especially towards the end, which is encouraging for me to see because of how much he's struggled lately. But like you also made a note here, AJ, the Shark killer Mike Smith couldn't get it done. And that's after 2. Riddick goes on a Smith-like adventure, we'll say, and gives up that goal. But I don't think there's enough that can be said about Tomas Hurdle and Kane, like how much they've been scoring lately, especially in this game. I mean, the 2 of them alone really put their stamp on that game. And, everybody talks about contracts and this guy's worth that, this guy's worth this, but both of those contracts, which I'll admit I was kind of nervous about at the time, both of them are looking like bargains considering how well they've played lately. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, hell yeah. And I don't know what has gotten into Kane lately. I don't know if it's that Canadian pizza or what, but man, the dude has just been jacked up since that Winnipeg game. I mean, playing some of his best hockey without a doubt. So
I think it's because going from, he's been hot since the calendar turned to 2019, and he's number 9, and there's a number 9 in the year. So I think he's like, that's my year. I got to play for him.
Hockey jerk going full numerology conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
The truth is out there.
Oh, it so is.
Where's the sounder?
I had you. Just relax. Take it easy.
Been too long. I haven't heard it, and I just haven't heard it in a while. Makes me nervous.
It's all good. So the Sharks basically go like copy paste in Alberta by winning another game there, 5-2. This time versus Edmonton, who were 4-5-2 since the last time the Oilers faced the Sharks. Oh dear Lord, this game. Oh man, LeBanc gets his first career hat trick, his second career 2-goal game versus Edmonton. Bizarrely enough, Couture does not make the score sheet despite posting 33 points in 32 games versus Edmonton. Lots of early misses by Edmonton, particularly in the first period. The thing that, of course, you worry about, Erik Karlsson with 59 seconds time on ice after taking a pretty solid hit. I think we'll see him versus Vancouver, if not definitely on the homestand that starts on Valentine's. But yeah, Evander Kane on a tear, gets rewarded with 23:45 of ice time, leading all Sharks. Dell would get the start in this one, posting a 9:13 after that New Year's embarrassment, followed by a couple starts since then where he's only had .899 save percentage. That includes subbing in for a game for Jones. And Draisaitl, you have to give it up, with the longest delay of game ever was shooting the puck. I mean, when was the last time you've seen that, Rock, where the dude literally behind his own goal line? I mean, I've heard of frustration icing, but that puck would probably hit at least 15 feet above the glass into the netting from 200 feet away.
He's just making some early chipping practice. So when April comes around, his golf game's going to be on point.
See, what I think it was is I think that he was so frustrated with how the team's been playing that he was actually trying to shoot the puck at Oilers CEO Bob Nicholson all the way in the rafters.
I thought he was like trying to shoot the puck to create a hole so he had somewhere to crawl out of there.
Oh, God. That's fair. That's fair.
Right? That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, the boys go 4-0 since the All-Star break. So, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, of course, for me, my good or, oh, yeah, the special teams have been trending. The Sharks had that stretch where they could not play a game without letting in at least one power play goal. Then, with the exception of like a half-assed power play goal that they gave up, everything else they've just destroyed. Then Jones has been trending up. Like I said, 194 goals against, 937 save percentage since the All-Star break. This is the Jones we were looking for, Ruck.
Yeah, look, this is the Jones he's always been. He's just sort of been working on getting there. Like, these guys have a very professional job. Oh, listen to me. No, I mean, like, it's tough for them because they are very human. Like, they're cellular beings that are decomposing very slowly day by day. And one day they'll be dead. But today, they're supposed to be superheroes and flawless. And, they're just supposed to be pushed to start. And you never have to think about there's an entire mechanism of humanity that goes beyond that performance. Or excuse me, that goes to match that performance. So I'm sorry if the Martin Jones we've all been looking for hasn't shown up until now, because for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to perform at optimum levels. But hey, I'm glad he's here and I'm glad everything's going well for him. Dear God, please, please, please don't get hurt.
No doubt. Jerk.
For me, I mean, I kind of touched on it before, but Evander Kane and Tomas Hertl, just the way they've played since the calendar flipped over to the 2019. I mean, again, I go back to it. Evander Kane signs the long-term deal, and everyone, myself included, oh my God, you gave him 7 years at $7 million a year.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think part of that decision, Doug Wilson also factored in the idea that he can expose Kane when Seattle comes in?
I mean, it's entirely possible, but if you're going to sign a guy to give yourself expansion draft protection, I think you're signing him to a 3 or 4 year deal. I think if you're going the full donut with 7 years, I think that's indicative of how much they want to keep him around. But especially how he's played this year, like, I'm not worried about that. As they say, 7 is the new 5, right? And for me, it's like, if he's going to score like that, I'm down, because the Sharks haven't had a true power forward probably since Ryan Clough, and to a lesser extent, Owen Nolan. I mean, I know that's kind of going far back, but everybody talks about how Kane is on a good team with good players, and nobody's throwing his tracksuit in the shower. And I think we're starting to see that kind of blossom. I think, God, whoever the Sharks play in the first round, I just think he's going to cut them to ribbons.
All you've done is upset me that Hurdle only got a 5-year deal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but how many actual knees does Evander Kane have versus Hurdle?
Yeah, that's true. But
at least 2.
At least 2.
All right, fine.
The truth is out there.
Hurdle doesn't have like tracksuits. I'm just saying.
Well,
No, nothing. Okay. Anyway, we move on. Hey now, my hey now. Vlasic is a +3 since returning.
Yay!
Exactly. I'll give him that. He's a +3, and I know Chris loves to bag about what a worthless stat that is. But there's a lot of people that would point to it when they would easily use that as evidence as to Vlasic's having one of the worst seasons. The fact that he dodged the media a couple times in the first half of the season because he just did not want to talk about it, that said something. So look, dude is slowly turning it around. Missing a month maybe really helped out his game. Let's see what he looks like when EK65 does return, but that's my hey now. Rock?
Yeah. Am I supposed to have some sort of opinion on something?
Well, I mean, there's the good, then there's the
all
okay,
right.
that's okay. And then
so are we on the good, or are we on the bad?
We're on the, that's decent.
So we're past the good.
Hey now. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't remember contributing my good.
You can do both.
No, it's fine. The bad this week, Kevin, stay out of the box. I'm just gonna beat this dead pony into the damn ground. Like, I get it that it's a thing with Pete, but it's becoming a thing. And like I said, it's part of the Sharks bingo card now. And I'm just done with it. I think it's detrimental to Kevin. Like, I would really love to see a Kevin LeBanc in the penalty box bobblehead. Just his little head waving around back there, behind a little plain vehicle. I want it so bad, but I know that it's really not appropriate because it's sort of demeaning, and a lot of the times.
I just want to say I love the idea, but only if they make part of the bobblehead like the strip that says that delineates that it says too many men underneath. It has the little strip from the score strip on TV. If it just has that, then I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think it would be funny. I think everybody else would think it was funny as long as Kevin LeBanc didn't have an issue with it. But I think maybe they have to win the cup first before he thinks about that. So
isn't LeBanc from Brooklyn? I think he'll get the joke.
Sure.
All I'm saying, Rocket, you mentioned the Sharks needing to win the cup first. I would kill for a picture of LeBanc in the penalty box hoisting the cup.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Somebody needs to Photoshop that.
or I'll even better if, like, for his day with the cup, he goes to the penalty box,
just sits there with it and talks it like, see all the time I spent in here. Yep, paid off. It's the best date ever.
one of our fans watching says Staten Island, AJ. So there you go.
Okay.
Hey, I was pretty damn close. All right. So we move on to the.
Really? Wait, hold on. I have a hey now, really quick.
Oh, hey now.
Hey now. Joe Thornton trying to get some late season foreseen points. I don't know if you saw after the game against Calgary, but talking about, Pavelski steps up, and then the next game it's Kane who steps up, and then the next game being the game against Edmonton, he said it's going to be Couture going for a foreseen. Now, he didn't hit it, but I got to commend him for the attempt. I would say an A for effort and a C- for execution.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Really?
What damn injury does EK65 have at this point? I'm so tired of this day. Come on, man. What are we at now? Like 8 straight games with the little all-star break hiccup in between. Like, dude, what is taking so long? The fact that they said, well, EK60, Erik Karlsson should easily join us on this 4-game road trip in Canada and blah, blah, blah. Well, if he didn't fly up today, he's not making it. And I wouldn't want him to, because the Sharks, after the game against Vancouver, are off for a couple days and don't play until Valentine's. So go ahead, rest him some more. I mean, the team's rolling without him right now, but god damn, man. This day is it? Can't we at least put him like on retroactive IR and like burn off some salary or something? Maybe. No, jerk.
Only if he was on the long-term IR, which at this point is really anybody's guess. Because as you've alluded to, he's been, day to day since like January 17th. It's a lot of days. I mean, at what point are we going to say, he's days away from being days away, right?
That's always one of my favorite sayings.
Honestly, just, I mean, regular season doesn't matter. Save him for the playoffs. Next, please.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, Rocket. Now it's your turn to drop all your cliche sayings. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have any cliche sayings insofar as this incident is concerned. I have been probably one of the I'm one of like the vocal minority who has not been really super impressed with Erik Karlsson's outing here in San Jose. I mean, some of it is his fault, some of it is not, but in general, I mean, nothing personal. I'm just not excited, not interested. By this point, I'm like, whatever. Who else is coming up the pipeline? I'm just done with it. For all I know, the guy has like 2 severed tendons, and he's got weird ringing in his ears that won't go away. Like it might be something that will take all season to heal, and then he's going to have to miss the first round of playoffs just to see if he'll be able to make the next 2 rounds of playoffs. Like if he's not messed up on some other level, then he's physically toe up from the flow up, and well, I guess toe down from the flow down. Now that I think about it, yeah. But like it just, I don't have hope for the situation at this point. Sharks have been just feeding us the same load of crap for too long for it to mean anything to me. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and take the next step that they obviously don't want to say, and say that he really is injured and he's really out for long term.
Okay.
I mean,
you know what that is? That's Rocket being a firm belief. Again, we're going to go back to it. This is Rocket saying she does not think Karlsson comes back until after the Florida game on the 14th of March because Mike Hoffman.
Maybe I would have to go and look at cap friendly again, but I think that was one of the conditions on the first round picks we traded. I mean, it's well documented. 2 seasons ago, I think he had, the word that was used was pieces of his heel removed from his foot, which I wouldn't want to do. But it's also been said that the injury he's dealing with is not related to his Frankenstein heel. That said, do we believe DeBoer? I am unsure.
Yes. Slightly different injury
no.
Slightly different injury than the foot in mouth, which plagued the Ottawa Senators for a couple weeks there.
They've really needed a lift since that whole thing.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you. Before we move to the 3 stars of the week, let's do something that we've never done before because we've never gone live. Let's hit a couple ones on the chat. Do you think a trade will come the Sharks' way before the deadline here in a couple weeks? This is one of those times where I am unsure. I don't like. Gambrell could all of a sudden start perking up. There's a lot of people that have said don't mess with this team right now. Like like everything has been fine. It's like they've just needed some better goaltending, better defense, which we've seen basically like Jerk was calling out 2019. So they needed a lift. That joke was uber lame. Oh, I love it. So I mean, and what's out there? What do you move to get it? Like, I just feel like, for me, I don't think that I would make a move at this point. I mean, why?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the team's rolling, right? As you alluded to. Why screw with that? And we've seen many trade deadlines before. Teams are rolling. Hello, Minnesota Wild in 2017, and then they make a big trade for a player that's not worth it, and then everything falls apart. And I think of that really good song by Tom Petty. I believe it's "Free Fallin'," which is what the Ducks are doing right now.
Wow.
Sharks, just cue me up, AJ. They need to keep doing whatever it is they're doing.
Way to keep doing whatever it is you're doing.
Thank you. We can always clean that up in post if need be. So, okay, I want to point out too, really quick, and then I'll stop talking. Has LeBanc proved himself? I'm seeing this in the chat. Yes.
Sure.
That is all I have to say.
Hey now. All righty. So let's move on. 3 stars of the week.
Oh, good for you.
Rocket, your star for the week.
My star for the week is going to go to the okayest goalie in the NHL, Aaron Dell, because he put on a good show. And I was proud of him. Good job, Aaron.
Jerkman.
Joe Pavelski.
Really? Oh, solid choice. Just not where I thought you would go.
I mean, everybody's playing well. It would be unfair for me to single one guy out unless it's Joe Pavelski, because everybody knows that he is my standing star choice. So figured just keep it rolling.
Alrighty. I want to go with Jones, but I need to see at least one more week of him continuing at this. So, of course, I'm going to go with my boy. I don't know how many stars he's gotten from me. We're going to have to track this next season, by the way. Hurdle getting my star, 6 points in those four games, right?
Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs. 4 or 6 points in 4 games since the All-Star break. You gotta, I mean, Hawaii with his woman did him some good. And like you said, since that calendar's turned to 2019, playing at the center position, which how much did we lament that, look, we had all kind of been relegated to the fact that Hurdle just is, despite how often we've heard it from Wilson that Hurdle is our center of the future, whatnot. We saw how many times that he was tried there and it just wasn't working. He was seeing all his success at the wing, and now for some reason something has clicked. Is that something Evander Kane? Could be.
I would say it is Evander Kane, only because the type of game that he plays, he's very physical, right? He hits the body a lot, but he's also a very good skater. He's
really fast.
He's very fast, and I think too, a big body like that, like Evander Kane, is making space for Hurdle to do whatever it is that he needs to do, and even Jonas Donskoy. Now, I'm not really a fan of Jonas Donskoy. We've been over this before, but Jonas Donskoy's skating and his nimbility, if you will, again, I think both of those factors, I think, allows Hurdle to just take his time, do his thing, pass the puck, shoot the puck, back check, forecheck, paycheck, whatever he needs to do, and so far it's been working out.
Nimbility, I like it. The sharkality of this guy is.
Oh God.
All right. Let's see if they've rehearsed it, kids. We'll find out.
Pizza.
You bastards.
Ooh, I'm sorry, really quickly. Like a tiger in the chat. Can I get a Chappelle? Got any of those picks? If you go to my Twitter @hockey_jerk, you'll see one in about 48 seconds.
Oh,
go ahead,
my
AJ.
Lord. All right. Remember, we can't get to the chat too often because this is our audio only show, and there may be some people listening to this on iTunes in a week from now going, what the hell are they talking about? Again, first time we've ever gone live. We may consider doing this more often in the future, and it's not like we're not looking at what the people in the chat are saying. We're definitely going to be jotting down some of these for later shows. So don't think that we don't love you, but we're also focused on our audio only listeners. Okay. Wow. Well, that felt good to berate the 25 people listening, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm
I was
kidding.
gonna say it's their fault for missing out.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm kidding. You know, we love you all. So for Shark Bites, a bit of Norris talk going on. And the primary debate seems to be between the Flames Giordano and the Sharks Brent Burns. Now, I'm wondering, and there's a few people that have said it, but look, first off, Burns has better numbers across the board than Giordano, with the exception of plus minus. He also plays on a team with a freaking superstar in EK65. To me, it seems like, well, yeah, it's going to be easier to be the big fish in the small pond when you're the biggest fish there. But when you're playing, you know, in a pond that has another huge fish right next to you, and you're still putting up these ridiculous numbers, like what was it, 50 points or 50 points in 55 games? Like, really? How I don't know, Jerk. I mean, you know, like, you give me the reason why Giordano should get the Norris over Burns at this point, because I'm not seeing it. Not when you put the numbers up and the situation.
I think it's because Giordano has been playing at a pretty high level all season, while Burns has been playing well all season, but I would argue that he hasn't been at the highest of high levels for the whole season. He started out good and has been great, versus Giordano started out great and he's still great. That said, I think Brent Burns should have the Norris Trophy this year for the reason that there are a lot of games in the first half of the season where it was him and nobody else helping him.
True that. True that.
He's on pace to set a career high in points.
See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. Let's talk after game 82, but I'm just saying I can understand a little bit of the debate, but the fact that some people are actually taking Giordano at this point over Burns, I don't understand it when I look at the numbers. And again, I'm one of those people that God, I wish there was a way to I look at it similar to the whole power play thing, where you'll see a team that's like, oh, they had 4 power plays tonight. Well, okay, they had 4 power plays. Did they play a total of 8 minutes on the power play? Or did, you know, after 15 seconds of being on it, did somebody else take a penalty? And now that, you know, even though it goes up as a power play, they only got 15 seconds of it. Like, along with that kind of statistic, it almost makes you like want to be able to, and this is actually going to be a good kind of a homework assignment for Jerk. I think he would dig this. He loves math. He loves numbers. So I like the idea of kind of ranking goals on a sliding scale, like maybe 1 through 5. So like that, the Burns overtime winner, that's, you know, you rank that as a 5 because it was a game winner.
Sure.
The shorthanded, it's a game tying goal. Maybe you put that as a 4. But when the game is, remember Philadelphia early in the season, the Sharks beat them 8-2. Well, when you put up the 5th or 6th or 7th goal in that game when there's 4 minutes left, maybe you put that as a 1. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be interested to go back and look and see the points, or at the very least the goals that Gio put up. Were they garbage time goals? Were they ones that gave the Flames the lead or tied the game? You know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to see some sort of value lent to goals, and I think that would help maybe swing the pendulum one way or the other. Did that make any sense whatsoever?
I'm very intrigued by that idea.
Rocket, your thoughts? You've been mysteriously quiet over there. Did your mic fail again?
No, I've just been listening to you. if only there was some way to tell how much a goal counted for. Almost like they invented a scoreboard for that, you know?
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. It was one of the
but
things.
I don't think it matters, because if you're gonna do that, you got to look at who your top points guys are, or whatever statistic guys are, and then you got to charter individuals to go through those guys' on ice gameplay for every single game and analyze how important each one of those goals was on a sliding scale of 1 to 5.
We're literally
for 82 games.
We're literally embedding microchips into jerseys so we can watch them move around. I mean, this is not off the beaten path. I don't think this is one of the things that I used to. There was somebody who used to. Constantly
tracking of movement is different than assessing a value to a goal.
It's still tracking another statistic. That's all I'm saying. It's the perfect example for me was there was somebody who used
assessment.
There was somebody who used to espouse to me how great Milan Mahalik was for this team. And I went back and I looked and it's he's a 20, he should put up 30 goals a season. Well, yeah, he should, but there's also a case of, okay, well, let's look at the goals that he put up. And if you looked, I'd say the majority of the goals that he scored, it's that, oh God, at least 30% of his goals were ones that were scored with 5 minutes left and the game was already well in hand, versus like Jeremy Roenick, who only had 17 goals, but 10 of them were game winners. You know what I mean? Like there's certain guys who come in through the clutch. And then there are certain players like a Milan Mahalik that, yeah, they can score when the pressure's off. I like to see, it's also nice to have those guys that, it's that whole idea of when the pressure is on, the player who wants the puck, who has the confidence, who says like, I'm going to take this team and put them on my back. Mahalik was never that guy. But this team right now, it feels like there's a lot of guys that are like that, whether it's Pavelski, Couture, Burns, Hurdle, Kane. A lot of guys want the puck in the pressure situation. I like that.
It's like our buddy Ian Reid always says, when the Sharks do good, it's good.
Fantastic synopsis. So let's go. Well, up until I think about a few hours ago, the Barracuda did lead their division, but oh my God, what are the Bakersfield Condors doing right now? Have they ripped off 12 consecutive wins?
Well, it's because their Edmonton is keeping all of their good prospects away from the dumpster fire.
Oh, wouldn't it be so great if the Condors if they just wholesale changed it, like they just brought up all the minor leaguers and had them dress in, Edmonton unis, with the exception of like McDavid and Draisaitl, Nurse and Clefbaum. Everybody else, go enjoy Bakersfield for a couple days, boys. And while you're doing that, can you give us your goaltender too? Oh my Lord. So the CUDA, I don't know. They started off so strong, 5-5 over their last 10. Alex True has taken over the point lead from Perron, 36-31. The good thing is Antti Suomela, while being down, he started off his first game putting in a goal, then kind of had a stretch where he just could not find the back of the net, yet has a goal and 4 assists over the last 4 games with the CUDA. So there's good. And D. Simone with 3 points in his last 4. So, it seems like the Sharks can't go a calendar month without losing a significant defenseman. So at least, you have D. Simone in the pocket. Just saying, man. Holy hell.
Yeah, I think too, for Suomela, it's a situation where, once the dam finally breaks, you start to get that confidence in your abilities. And I think too, he's probably pissed he's not in the NHL right now, because that's why he came to North America, right? Is to be in the NHL. So, but Barracuda are rolling. Obviously good to see, considering last season was, yeah.
Wow.
You all know I don't need to regurgitate it for these people.
I know. That is true. That is true. Let's go around the horn. The Ducks have finally figured it out, people. After winning 11 of 13 and then losing 18 of 20, Randy Carlyle has finally been given the Spanish Archer. Elbow. Gone. See ya. In other words,
fatality.
You gone. So now this is the weird thing. I mean, Rocket, how comfortable would you be? Okay, wait a minute. Who's taking over the coaching? Who's behind the bench now? Like the GM? Jerk, is that what's going on?
Some guy who's never coached a day in his life, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're already doing better by that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, I mean, like seriously, Rocket. I mean, could they do any worse? I mean, because I was like, you know what? Screw it. Put Wild Wing back there behind the bench.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. Like every step forward is a step up at this point. They could get Bailey from the LA Kings to coach them, and I think they'd be okay.
Ooh.
They could get Goldberg, the Ducks' old goalie, back there.
Oh, wow.
Like, hire the actor who played him, but have him just pretend he's actually Goldberg the whole time he's behind the bench.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have to check to see if he's in prison first, but yeah.
Oh, that's right, huh? I forgot about that.
You know, I'm just letting you know right now, if we play the mascot trivia game, Rocket's going to clean your clocks.
Not true. Not true.
That's all I'm saying. So along with that, so we see the Ducks finally make a move. Should we blame this on Steve Dangle, who did call them out yesterday on Twitter? I don't know. But talking about calling out a team, I don't know if you saw this, but in the Edmonton feed on Oilers TV, Hitchcock calling out the Oil after the loss to the Sharks. And, you know, he didn't go full on Tortorella or anything like that, but he was just very much kind of like, you know, look, coaches can't want it. You know, it's the players that have to go out there and execute. The coaches can sit there and they can want it as much, but if the players don't execute, hey, what can we do? And I don't know if it was clearly Todd McClellan was not the problem, but I almost feel like kind of Hitchcock was hedging his bets because, you know, didn't Hitchcock like come out of retirement to take this gig? So
yeah, twice.
Yeah. So I feel like Hitchcock actually was just kind of like hedging his bet. Like he was just kind of like, this is not my fault. The team would not be like this if I had coached this team from the beginning, you know, from August. So it makes me wonder if Hitchcock is kind of just saying that because he wants one more year, because let's be honest, Hitchcock could very easily go, you know, who was the goaltender that said, F it, I'm out of here? F it and left.
Yeah.
That's St. Louis.
Yeah. So, I mean, God, who have we lost so far? We've lost Carlisle, we've lost Quinville, we've lost McClellan. I mean, and two of those, of course, coming in the Pacific Division. Have we lost anybody else this season?
LA fired John Stevens.
Oh,
yes. Played that Sarah McLaughlin clip.
Oh man, 3 coaches out of the Pacific.
I will remember you.
Damn.
I can't wait to see the tribute video.
I can't wait for March 14th to see the Mike Hoffman tribute video at SAP. I look forward to that.
That's not gonna be fun.
It's just gonna be a screenshot of the Sharks tweet from that day where it says the Sharks have acquired Mike Hoffman from the Ottawa Senators. In a related move, the Sharks have traded Mike Hoffman to the Florida Panthers.
No, they should straight up do it. Oh God, what animated show is it where they show you something and then they throw up the screen that says 5 minutes later or 2 minutes later or whatever? I forget
all the animated shows.
All of them?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, it goes to show you how much it's like. I don't know if it's Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if it's South Park. I don't know, whatever. But either way, they should do that where they throw up, whether it's TSN or something, but they throw up the feed where it's like, so this morning the Sharks have traded, Mike Hoffman. And then who did we trade for Hoffman? Was that Tierney and DeMello and all that?
No, we traded
Oh, that was for Karlsson, right?
Bodker, Julius Bergman, and a fourth, which
Yes.
addition by subtraction.
Yes. Hey, now. Yes. So yeah, I just want them to show that where where the new TSN's calling that off, and then they throw up that graphic where it's like 30 minutes later. Well, the Sharks have flipped Mike Hoffman to Florida in exchange for the. I think that would be good. Austin Matthews signed a 5-year extension with Toronto. Now what?
No more cap space.
Yeah.
So what happens with Marner? Does this guarantee that Marlowe is gone next season? I mean, like, what happens in TO?
It's gonna be, I mean, I don't look at it like, okay, Matthews making hella money, so is Tavares. Marner's gonna get paid, right? That's not that's not a secret. But I think it's gonna be a couple things are gonna happen is where guys like Kasperi Kapanen and guys like Andreas Janssen, who are playing well but aren't going to command as much money as the big dogs, are gonna have to move on, unfortunately. I know William Nylander was told that he wouldn't be traded during the entirety of his contract, but well, there's always a way around that. So I think it's going to be a situation like you've seen with Chicago and with Pittsburgh as well, where you've got your horses in the middle, Tavares and Matthews, and then you build around them with guys from your AHL team, or guys who maybe are coming off a bad season but are actually kind of decent players, and you get them on the cheap. There's going to be a lot of Marlies in Toronto next year, and all I'll say is, if I'm a Toronto fan, I'm looking at that Nikita Zaitsev contract, and I'm just like, yikes.
I can't wait to see what happens with the Maple Leafs this offseason. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Patrick Marleau is not coming back to the Sharks, so don't bring it up.
God, I wish people would just stop about that. Just stop it already.
Where do you think he plays next season?
Well,
on the golf course.
He's going to be playing NHL 19 on his couch.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys really suck.
Well,
I want to see him do one more.
It's in the absolutely he's going to get one more, but I don't know. Something's going to have to give. I don't think it'll be a buyout. I don't think it's going to be an LTIR situation, but Toronto's going to have to retain salary, and maybe Marleau goes to a kind of crappy team.
If he wants another year in hockey, I mean, there's going to be space behind the Anaheim bench. And I go back to that. Like, why is Dallas Eakin not behind the Anaheim bench at this point?
Because they want to keep him. They want to keep him in San Diego with all their good young players.
That's so interesting to me, because I always thought that your farm systems are to feed and make the big clubs successful. Now, granted, I think we can all agree that Anaheim right now is the last thing they're looking at is the word successful. They're just like, get us the hell out of 2019 for right now. So finally, for the wraparound, what in the holy hell is the training staff in Vegas thinking? Carpenter, for those of you who didn't know, former Shark Carpenter gets absolutely destroyed, is incredibly wobbly, and they actually let him try to skate off on his own, and he almost, like, not once but twice, almost fell backwards. Who knows what that would have done to his neck, his head. How do you, I think at some point when guys take hits like this, you just have to say, even if they say, hey, I'm good, I'm fine, you say, okay, you know what? Let's prove that in the dressing room. But for right now, we're helping your ass off the ice. Rocket.
Yeah, I think this was probably a move that harkens back to the kind of older style of play where it's just like, how many fingers am I holding up in front of your face? Anything less than 5 is great. Yeah, and they can't get away with that now. And I think that even if they thought that they could, not only are the concussion spotters out there, but people are watching this a lot more now. with the prevalence of information that's out there on, I don't know, cranial injuries sustained during high impact or high velocity impacts during sports. I think that so you have these concussion spotters and then people who are also like, hey, that didn't look very good. And then on top of that, you have other people who like, you know, as soon as they see something that's a little bit sketchy, they're gonna tweet about it. They're gonna put it on their social media. They're gonna be like, I just saw this and this wasn't right. I think that without that kind of coverage and this kind of awareness that we have in modern day, that it probably wouldn't have garnered any attention at all.
No, and that's the other thing too, is I can tell you from, you know, being somebody who has received a head injury while playing hockey, that's one of the situations where you can't and you shouldn't be proud. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know you don't want to show weakness. You want to get up and wave to the crowd. Everything's fine. It's all great. But no, with a head injury, you can't afford to be proud. You need to, like, take the time to compose yourself and then go, or say, yeah, I'm effed up right now. I need help. And I think too, Rocket, I think you made an excellent point when you talked about spotters and awareness and stuff like that. I think, you know, in this day and age, I think, you know, it's becoming okay, I guess, to be helped off the ice like that. Because, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I was alive in the 70s, but guys get smoked on the ice or they get hit by something in the 70s. Always, no, I'm fine. I'm tough. Please like my sport. I'm fine. I'm good. And, you know, it can't be like that now. And so, you know, for the Vegas training staff, I mean, it makes me wonder if they were watching the game. I mean, like, you have to see that, oh my God, he got hit and wasn't back on his feet in 1.5 seconds. Maybe there's something wrong, and I'll have to rewatch the clip, but I don't think the training staff came on the ice until it was way after the fact.
Yeah, it was not lickety split by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm.
Maybe they were all captivated by whatever stupid circus entertainment was going on in the bleachers.
You know, I'm surprised at some point, like, they just don't put, like, I don't know, say like a little, I don't know, 8 foot by 8 foot padded room right in the area where the Zamboni comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just say, okay, and it's, you know, it's completely padded on all 4 walls. And when 2 players are like ready to throw, they're like, okay, you guys, let's go into the box, you know, and they just put them in a padded room and they can beat the crap out of each other in there. But at least if they fall or hit something, like, it's very soft, it's very comfortable. And there you go. And it's just kind of, you know, let's go in there. And in fact, even give them those, like, you know, comically large, the boxing gloves, you know,
sock and boppers.
Yeah.
Just get him a pool noodle and have him go for it.
Welcome to the padded penalty box. Kevin LeBanc will take your coat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Or you just go, like, you know, center eye, straight thumb war.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of the sock and boppers or like the foam jousting sticks.
That's good too.
Yeah. But
or like, what if you get your goalie? So like each team gets their goalie and they put him in their net, right? And then you get like whoever is the strongest, biggest skater, and that person gets behind the goalie. And the goalie puts their stick out in front of him, knob first, and like uses it as a jousting stick and just holds that position. And the person behind them, their job is just to push them directly at the other goalie as fast as they can. Like if they could just, if they could do the goalie jousting like that, I'd watch that sport.
Yeah, but either way, we'll see what happens. I don't even understand. Again, I go back to the fact that it almost felt like Tampa Bay staff was out there sooner. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even blame it. Like, well, you know, look, the Vegas guys, they were blinded by the lights. Well, this game was played in Tampa. You know, I don't understand what the excuse was. So
they were clearly looking up at how high in the standings Tampa was above them.
Playoffs.
So let's get into the next 3 games until we talk to you again. We have the Sharks finishing up their 4-game trip through Vancouver, through Canada at Vancouver. The Sharks have a great opportunity now to have a beautiful Canadian sweep. Bring your brooms. So at Vancouver, fresh off just a beautiful overtime. For those of you who did not see the Vancouver Calgary game, holy hell, what a great game. I highly suggest it. But Markstrom played himself one hell of a game. Jones is going to have to be on lockdown. We'll see what happens. Calgary only 1 point ahead of the Sharks. We saw what happened. So this game against Vancouver, I think, could be really good. Then you're off for a couple days. You have this stretch at home for a quick 3 over basically a long weekend, starting Valentine's Day with Washington. Then boom, Vancouver yet again. 2 and 3 games. I don't know why, but
are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm just bummed out that I will not be doing After Dark for 2 of the next 3 games. I'm not doing it. So anywho, Vancouver twice, Washington. What are you looking for, Rocket, over these next 3 games? I mean, besides the opponent, we saw Washington kind of go on that weird streak, and of course, the last time the Sharks played Washington, it was one of the most bizarre games the Sharks have played, a 7-6 overtime loss to the Sharks.
Yeah.
So
very strange.
Yeah. What are you looking for over these 3?
I'm looking for a shutdown defense. I want to see shots suppressed to the outside. I want the rebounds picked up. And I would like to see heavy pressure from this team consistently. Hard hockey. Yeah, that's what I want.
I would like to see somebody, break off a key and then put bubblegum over the top of it somehow to lock Pedersen in his hotel room so he never makes it to the tank or the game.
Oh, come on. You got to give him a chance to compete.
That kid is too good, man.
Mm.
Jerk, what are you looking for those 3 games?
I mean, for the Vancouver games, I feel like in years past we've sort of laughed at Vancouver on the schedule, but they've been having kind of a decent year, all things considered. I think in the Vancouver.
Let me ask you though, are they having a decent year, or does their year look decent because teams like Edmonton, LA, and Anaheim have completely fallen off the grid? Like, let's be honest, at the beginning of this season, a lot of people had Vancouver finishing last in the Pacific, or at the very least 7th. And I think it's a little shocking where they are, but I think part of it also has to do with the fact that just LA, Anaheim, and Edmonton have completely underwhelmed.
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of folks, and I'm guilty of this at times too, but I think a lot of folks will just look at the name, oh, Vancouver, yeah, they suck, and that's the end of it, and they don't really actually consider who's on that roster or where that team's at. You mentioned Elias Pettersson, who is my vote for the Rookie of the Year trophy.
Absolutely.
And even like guys up and down that forward group have all played very well this year, and goaltending has been good as well. And I think that's what the Sharks are going to have to look out for. Is the Sharks are, if everything goes the way they want it to, they should be able to beat Vancouver on the scoreboard. But to do that, you're going to have to beat Jacob Markstrom, who's been playing very well this year after putting up a career of playing very meh. And I wouldn't be surprised if in one of these 2 games coming up against Vancouver, I wouldn't be surprised if Markstrom steals one of them.
Yeah, and that's what worries me. And I got to say, really since that playoff run versus Boston in 2011, I've really, that year, but particularly that playoff run, I never had an issue with Vancouver until then. And since the entitlement that the fans and even a couple of those players, you had Alexander Burrows trying to bite people. I mean, it was something that really made you hate Vancouver, the Canucks, and to a certain extent their fans. And for the longest time, even though when Burrows got moved or somebody else got moved, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I still can't root for the guy. You know, whether it's Burroughs in New York or it's Luongo in Florida or whatever, I don't care. Hansen with San Jose, for Christ's sake. You know? I'm like, I can't do it. You can take the boy out of Vancouver. You can't take the Vancouver out of the boy. Pedersen is slowly making that go away. A guy like Horvat, a little bit. A guy like Besser, a scotch. But it's really Pedersen that, like, he's one of those guys where I'd be like, you know, okay, I'd almost, I wouldn't get a jersey, but I might get a jersey, a Pedersen jersey.
He's just so silky.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. Dude, he should be in a Victoria's Secret catalog with all that silk. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You heard it here first.
Yes. So there's our preview, and we did kind of tease it. So let's turn on the camera. So here we go, kids. It is contest time. Now, if you don't want to, this is just kind of a groovy little towel, right? No biggie, you know, basically kind of like your basic, I want to say like bowling towel, you know, it's good for cleaning off your balls when you bowl.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah. We'll clean that up in post as well. So cool little towel. You can always, I don't know, get a Sharpie and block out the Geico logo, I suppose. But anyway, we're going to give this one away. And here is the contest details.
Go on eBay, send us $55 plus shipping.
And it's yours. No. Ouch. Okay, so slide into our DMs. Now, when I say DMs and slide into them, I mean the @Pucknologists account. I know not a lot of people know this. We actually have a Pucknologist Twitter account @Pucknologists that don't go to Tealtown USA. Follow us, but don't slide into those DMs, bro. Slide into Pucknologists. And here is your trivia question as I slowly look for wherever the hell I wrote it down at.
So it happens when you do it live.
Yeah, exactly. So Burns to Pavelski for the 2-on-1 versus Winnipeg. That was an overtime shorthanded goal to win the game. That was the second one in franchise history. If you know that, now again, we are live. If you know it, if you know the answer to this question, don't be the guy who puts it in the chat, the answer. Just tweet at us. First one to tweet at us the correct answer wins the towel. But that was the second overtime shorthanded goal in Sharks franchise history. Who scored the first one? Name of the player and the team that it was against. You send me those two little tidbits of information, that towel will be on its way to you. So enjoy.
You have 24 hours.
No, yeah. Oh man, I need a clock. I need a clock sounder on here.
It sounds like a ransom. Like you have 24 hours.
Will self-destruct in 24 hours.
I don't know who you are.
I was gonna say we have your family.
I don't know what you want. I think it's a tower, and I will give this tower to you if you can provide the answer to this incredibly difficult question. Who scored the first overtime shorthanded goal? If you provide that answer, I will leave you and your family alone. If you do not provide the answer, you get no goddamn towel.
You have 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I will kill you.
So the final thoughts on where the people can find you. Holy hell, it wouldn't be a Pucknologist if we didn't go long. God damn it. We will get this dialed in at some point. The final thoughts where the people can find you. Rocket.
Hey, final thoughts. My computer's dying. It's not my microphone. It's not my mouse. It's my computer. That's my final thought.
Are you trying to say
fatality?
Yeah, basically. I'm approaching the final boss level on this beast, so I better hurry up and pony up for a new Lappy 286. Anyway, it's not shark related, but it is because this is my gateway to sharks. So yeah, gonna be back in San Jose for the remainder of the season. Excited about that. Sharks are gonna be What?
Okay.
Playoffs. So yeah, there's like, I always think that sounds like Mickey Mouse. Like if Mickey Mouse were frustrated about playoffs of some sort. I lost my train of thought.
She's going to be back in
Crap.
San Jose.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be back in San Jose. I'm really excited about that. Look, I like this team. They're awful. And they're amazing. They're just so damn inconsistent. And I think that's my favorite thing about them, because you can sit here and analyze and postulate and speculate, but at the, when it comes down to the puck drop, you just don't know. You know what's going to show up. You just don't know in what form. Oh, it's like Gozer, and you make Gozer comes in the form you think of it. Never mind.
Ghostbusters
anyway,
reference. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Sharks. Sharks is Gozer. Sharks is a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. My name is Rocket Backhander. I'm struggling for straws here, guys. You can catch me on Twitter, capital R, capital B, little @Backhander76. Check me out on Instagram, taking photographs of all things teal and real teal. On Instagram, Rocket Backhander, one word.
It is being pointed out to me that there may be some people that cannot DM the Pucknologists account because the Pucknologists don't follow you. In that case, send an email to towel@tealtownusa.com. Whoever gets their answer to me with the earliest timestamp will.
Is that a real email?
Yes. Towel@tealtownusa.com. Go ahead. You know what?
Just because you
said that, you know what? I want you to send an email to that right now. Just
okay. No, you know what? No.
Tell me what you're going to put in it. I'm just saying.
No, you are all right. All right.
And once this contest is over, I'm going to kill that. So don't think that you're gonna sign me up for a whole bunch of BS. It's like, as soon as I see that one thing that we got a winner, whether it's sliding into the DMs or sending me an email, that's it. So anyway,
towel@tealtownusa.com.
Yeah. This is not difficult to remember, my brother.
Okay, well, all right.
So when it comes to final thoughts on where the people can find you on the Soch, I say to Jerk,
finish him.
Well, all right. Final thoughts. The Sharks are playing some really good hockey, and it's only February. So let's hope that the good hockey continues in March and April and May and maybe June. I mean, that would be nice. It'll allow us to keep the old podcast-a-rooney going on for a little bit longer. If you are a fan of my tweets and you have the latest subscription package, you can follow me on Twitter @hockey_jerk. If you have not subscribed, get the hell out. No, I'm just kidding. You guys all know what the deal is. I ramble. I post pictures and GIFs and emojis, and for some reason there are 718 of you out there who think that's great. So tell your friend, and they'll tell another friend, and they'll tell another friend, and I will hear about it because I'm always on Twitter. Back to you, AJ.
Hey now. And just to let you know, while we are live, before we end this, I've already seen one person slide into the DMs, and you are wrong. Sorry, but no. But keep trying. Keep trying. I am AJ_strong on the Instagram, on the Twitter, and do yourself a favor. Again, I'm still waiting, by the way, for Jerk's email to come through.
Well, I had to do my little final thought quick hit, excuse me, and now I'm thinking of something clever to say so that you can post a screenshot of it on Twitter.
Okay, all right. Well, we will factor that into the decision. But for now, that's where we stand. Thank you very much for tuning into this first and only live episode. We may do this again now that we're back on our Sunday schedule. Football is beyond us. There's only 2 more Sunday games this season for the Sharks, at least during the regular season. And as we all know, regular season doesn't matter. So,
no, sir, it does not.
subscribe to us on SoundCloud and iTunes or whatever podcast platform you use. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You're on it right now, so help us out. Share it with a friend. Hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Certainly would appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Tealtown USA. And thank you very much for listening. We will see you all next time with episode Injured EK. Is that right? 65.
That is correct.
You are correct, sir. But I'm going to vamp for about another 30 seconds here until I receive an email. I'm looking for it. We need to test it out. Towel@tealtownusa.com.
Sent.
Sent. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We want to make sure that this does not get caught in the junk filter. We're looking for it. Oh boy! Do you share Erik's AOL connection? I gotta wonder.
Wow.
Come on, buddy. I'm looking for you.
It's
Wow.
already sent.
Hmm.
And yet it's not there.
Okay,
There
so all right, so we might have to switch things up a little bit.
Your
What?
message your message wasn't delivered because the address could not be found.
Oh, okay,
snap,
that's on me.
AJ.
All right, that's on me. All right.
Wait,
all right.
okay, let's verify one more time. What's the
Hold on.
email again?
No. Okay, just to make sure. Okay, hit me up, aj@tealtownusa.com. Let's see
There
it.
you go.
Let's see it.
Okay, all right.
Let's see it, bitches.
Wow. Clearly appealing to the adults out there.
Yes.
Hide your
because-
kids.
Hide your wife. Yeah, there's so many children listening to a hockey podcast at 10:25 Pacific time.
Well, you know.
All right, what's the email one more time?
aj@tealtownusa.com.
tealtownusa.com.
I love that you can hear the clicking of the keyboard in the background. I think that is awesome. It's like,
Hey, 100% authentic 100% of the time.
hey now, did you hit that send button, bro?
Yes, I did.
Oh, we're looking for you. Oh, boom! Hockey jerk. The truth is out there. Erik Karlsson has ankle flu. So there you go. So if you want to, okay. So we're gonna shit can the towel address, obviously. So if you want that towel, answer that question. First shorthanded overtime goal. Who scored it for the Sharks? What team it was against? You can email me. We've just verified the address. aj@tealtownusa.com. So with that, thank you all for watching. We will see you next week for episode 65.
Dun, 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 dun.
Holla.
Have the goddamn